Hi there guys, this is 3DFX. This will be part 2 of our beginning guide, and I will try to stick this pretty short because I didn't really know that I were to be doing a part 2, but I thought might as well cover a few other functions here. So the file menu of Bitwig is probably pretty important to know. It is pretty straightforward when it comes to most of the things. First one, new project, will create a new empty scene. Open will open a file, or and save will obviously save, and you have save as, which will save to a name instead. Save will just write over as it usually does in every program. And collect and save is a little special to if you're coming from Ableton Live or if you are starting new in Bitwig, and it is a very clever function in my opinion. And the reason to that is because with collect and save, what you can do is, let's say you have a project open here with a lot of samples in this window here, and these samples are taken from different hard drives or different partitions on a hard drive, and the program may not really know where all of these are going to be captured from. So you know, it can be a little tricky to know where all these things go. So what happens when you collect and save, it takes all the samples that you're actually in your scene and collects them in a single folder, and then it saves them. So you have all the files, all the samples from different sound packs and different hard drives or whatever, and it takes them into one single folder, and then it saves all of them. So that's really clever, and that's really good because it makes it much easier for the program itself to then, when you're working with a scene, that it actually can find all your files. That's why it's clever. All right. And then we have save as template, and saving as a template is because if you wanna, for example, you want the program to start with a certain set of instruments perhaps, or certain amount of samples or whatever, then you can save this as a template, and whenever you open, or say you close the program and then you open it again and you have a save template, it can be loaded so that whenever you start Bitwig, it will show it with these synthesizers or these effects or whatever you have in this template. So it should make it easier for you to quicker begin working with projects. For example, if you have a project or you're using the same project every single time, and you want to reuse a certain set of synthesizers or instruments. So that's why that is very clever. If you need that. And close, self-explanatory, it closes the program. Export audio, it does render the audio. In some DAWs it's called rendering the audio. Export audio is more commonly used in most programs, maybe. So it renders it to a WAV or MP3 file. We could actually have a look at that. Looks like this. So you have right now we have WAV, we have FLAC, we have Opus. Never heard of that myself actually, and we have Vorbis and MP3 obviously. So these are the formats that it seems like it supports at present state in Bitwig. And I want to say that the Bitwig that I am using is the Bitwig version 4, which is the latest Bitwig. So okay. And then you have this function called export Midi, and what it does, let's say I have a Midi clip here. I don't really have one now, but let's just create one for the sake being. So here's a clip which I draw out, and then say I draw in some notes here, and we pretend that this is my song. So if I now would like to export this little clip, loop, or whatever you wanna call it, you would choose export MIDI here, and it would be exported to a file which you specify, and you click save. So this little clip here, or however long you have it, will be exported so that you can use this MIDI clip in another software, especially for music production, probably, because they can handle MIDI. And if we move on to show dashboard here, this is what you see at the start. You've probably seen it already, and this is basically where you can open any of the file projects that you have been working on previously, and you probably will see, if you have bought the version like me, you'll see your username, and I think maybe you will see yours if you have the demo as well. If you're registered, you probably do, otherwise I do not know, but that's my username. And so here in Bitwig you have settings, and I haven't even covered that so much, but if you're using a Macintosh, it should be pretty easy to set up the sound of Bitwig. Like, you go to audio, and it should be set at core audio, so nothing should really be needed to be done here. And you see on I have Swedish here, so you can't understand it. It says loudspeaker in MacBook Pro, and so on. And here is where you can choose your output device for your particular sound card, or so on. Like, I'm using the Scarlett 2i2 USB right now, and so on, but it's set to loudspeaker in MacBook Pro at the moment. So this is how it looks for Mac. PC, it would say something else, but generally this is where you change the sound setting, input and output devices, and you can also set your samples and latency here, so that's good to know. As for your plugins, here is where you will find your plugins, and this little screen here can also help the program, or help you tell the program how it wants to, how you want to set up your synths, and or how you want to run them when it comes to crashing of synthesizers. It sounds a little bit complex, but this is just for Bitwig to be able to prevent synthesizers and other stuff to crash, because it actually has something called crash protection. So we don't have to dive deeper into this subject, but this is basically what it's about. And in locations, which is probably the most important one here, is where you actually specify the paths for where you have installed your plugins or VSTs. And this is very important, because if you do not specify where they are, Bitwig or other DAWs won't be able to find, or in Bitwig's case, Bitwig won't be able to find where you have your synthesizers and effects. So here you can see my path destinations look like this. Yours might be looking different, but that's another subject, and I'm not really gonna dive too deep into this. But it's important, if there is a synthesizer which you cannot use at the moment, you need to check that the folder is correct. All right. So let's skip this section, go back here. And there is another thing I would like to cover. We can firstly start right here. Right now we are at our arrange view, which we have been covering in a earlier video. And now have done a clip here just to show you. So right now we are on arrange. If we go, say, mix, it will look like this. This is the mixer. So from this mixer, it's the same. Now I'm going back to the arrange. You can see the here. So it's like mix, arrange, mix, arrange, mix, arrange, mix. arranged. So you can add, you know, more synthesizer or whatever you want to call it. Let's add a silent one. And you can also, inside of here, you can type in the synth and it will automatically be smart enough to search up your synthesizer, silent one or whatever you have. That is very useful if you have a ton of them. So whenever you have your synthesizer, close that down. You see now we have one channel here, Midi channel, without any synthesizer, and this one have, because when you double click this, you see nothing in this channel. Okay, but if you're clicking this one, you see that there's actually a device in this channel. And whenever you click mix, you see that there is also a silent one here and there's a lead there. That means that they're connected to the mixer here as well. So whenever you change the volume down here, it's the volume for, you know, silent one. And the master of everything is right over here. Okay. The interesting thing is, I never actually used the mixer personally, but it's up to you if you want to use it. Because in Bitwig, you see, you don't have to go to the mixer to, at least not to change your volume. Maybe to do sense if you like or so on, but you still do the sense here anyway. So you never really have to reach to the mixer, and that's what makes Bitwig so smart and so easy to work with. You have everything under the same shell. Right here is your volume for this. You can mix everything right over here, and you can just keep on pumping synthesizers, just copying them up with Option and click or Control click, and you can, you know, move the volume like this, and you can mix it whatever you like to, whatever have you right here. So it makes it extremely fast and easy to mix. The workflow is just so much faster than anything I've ever tried anyways. So that's something that is good about Bitwig. Now, if we clear this channel, I'm gonna delete this too. And if we look at browser services right over here, this is pretty important in a sense if you wanna, actually in the last video I forgot to show you this because I never actually used this myself, I just saw it myself. And it is, if for example, this is called browser devices. So on devices is everything that you add right here. For example, the synth that you just saw there, that's the device, and so on. So let's say you need a Bitwig device, maybe you need an EQ or something, or a compressor. You can just go here, double click there, bam, you have a compressor, right? And you can, for example, I need a VST, which one am I gonna pick? Bam, you have a silent one, right? It's that easy, it goes at once. So I think in a way it may be similar to DAWs like FL Studio and so on. I don't really know, I haven't worked much with it, I don't really remember it, but I have used FL Studio and I don't like it at all. I'm sorry guys, I just don't, because this is way smarter and more logical if you're asking me, but each to his own. Don't be mad at me for saying that. Also, what you can do right in here is actually, if you're looking, there are stars there, so you can, let's see what it says, can I see here, remove from collection. So you can add, like when you click a star like that, it becomes a star, and it adds this synth or effect or whatever to a collection, so you can have it in your favorite selection. And that means whenever, for example, if you're going inside of here, you can filter favorites. So whenever you click favorites, it will only show you favorites in this list. So you see bam, 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 you see all of these are there already. So like another clever thing of Bitwig Studio right there. And now we've only covered the devices a little bit. So Bitwig is only for Bitwig devices, so it's everything internally from Bitwig itself. And VSTs, which is, for example, compressors, delays, equalizers, or whatever have you. For example, this very simple but good DJ equalizer, which only have bass right here and have mid here and high there. So for example, if you have this parametric EQ or whatever they want to call it right here, it has bands like this. It works nice, but you may think it's too complicated or too hard to produce a certain type of sound. It may be because it has these, lines all over the place, and it's trying to do cool tricks and so on. If you want it more simple in the beginning, I recommend you using just the EQ DJ like this, because it's just way easier to control. You just have bass there, mid there, and high there. So you see what I mean there? That's the thing that's also clever about Bitwig Studio. Just saying, having simple tools that does the job correctly for you. Alright, so these are the tools of Bitwig. I'm not going to go in depth with these tools right now. But the important thing is for you to be able to find the VSTs, the synthesizers right here. Like I said before, you just double click there, and there's your silent one or whatever you have installed already. And whenever you need an effect, say you need a delay like replica, bam, there's your effect. You cannot go faster than that. It's just so simple and good. Alright, so, and if you look at system VST3 plugins, we have this list of different tools. You can see I have Vital installed as a free synthesizer. So if you don't have Silent One, you can download Vital for free. Good advice if you want to start doing that. But I recommend anyway to anyone who is interested in making EDM, I would probably recommend to own Silent One, because there are so many YouTube tutorials on Silent One, and therefore it is a very important and very good synthesizer to own and have. There is a lot of other things going on over here. You can find your presets much the same way like we did before. You can find samples right here. You can also play the samples right in the browser here. And you can also, if you decide you want to use this instead, you could do it right here if you are on the sample section right over here. So you can, come on then, here we go. You can hear it actually works here too. Cool. And then you have something called multi-samples. You have music, where you can find your music. You have a clip section here in Bitwig. And you can find your files. This one is pretty important. You can find browser files through your computer, and then start searching your files, exactly where you have your files in Bitwig. And I can even see my SD card here, which is connected right now, which I'm actually recording this video to on OBS video. So that is good to have. So these are the browser part of Bitwig. I'm not gonna spend more time on this. I know this video is already long, but guys, I hope you liked this video, and if you found this useful, please comment or give me a thumbs up on the video. There's one little detail I want to cover before I leave you here. And this one is very smart. Like, for example, if you are having a project opened, like here I have an old project in Bitwig, and what I'll do is I just want these two samples. These are noise samples I might want to have in a trance track or something that I'm producing. So I can just go to my old tracks. I can select cut tracks. It will cut the tracks from my old project, and I want to start something new here. And what I can do is I can click edit, and I could just click paste. Let's see, didn't it react to that? That's strange. Edit, paste. There we go, good boy. Now it works. It's weird. Okay. And this means that now you have the effect from the other project inside of Bitwig. So you can play this and you will probably hear something. Maybe, maybe not, doesn't matter. But that's how you actually import clips into from another project and then into your new project, which is really handy if you're more advanced user. Okay. That is everything I think I was going to cover here. I hope it wasn't too long, but I thought I had to do part 2 of the Bitwig basics. We will see if there will be a part 3, I don't know yet. But anyways, so if you like the video, comment, please comment any questions or anything you have, and keep watching this channel, because there will be more producing videos coming out. I will produce real songs live. So that's what I'm gonna aim for. I'm not gonna aim for doing tutorials so much, I think. We will see what time will tell, what time will do. Anyway, so again, leave a like and comment, and click the bell button so you will see my notifications, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you for today. I'm 3DFX, and have a good day. Bye bye.